everybody, Miss Hoelscher here. So for our time off, hopefully everyone's staying safe, staying healthy. Today I want to show you how to draw a character from SpongeBob named Gary. He's sort of my favorite. He's super quiet, the little snail best friend that SpongeBob has. So what we're going to start with is some super simple different line techniques. He's super easy if you, as long as you're following along and making sure your size is the same size as what I'm drawing. So all you need is a pencil, maybe a sharpener or an eraser. I think you should be pretty good. On your paper, Gary's more of, in total, he fits pretty well in a landscape style paper. If you put it in a portrait way, you might have to make him smaller and he wouldn't really fill the whole page. So we're going to start with just a very low wavy line on the bottom of our paper. Whenever you're pulling that line up and around, you're going to make sort of a lip, just like a wave that comes up there. For the back end, you want to make the same lip, but a little bit thinner. After we make sort of the slushy part on the bottom, we're going to make his actual body, which is kind of the same way, but the waves aren't as widespread. They're barely up and down waves. So I'm going to start back here for his body. For his head, as soon as it touches that line, you want to sort of bring it around in a bit of a loop, almost like a U, from the letter U from the side. On the back, by where his tail would be, this line almost follows right back up for the top of his body. Now follow your same wave on this one. So where you go down, where you go up, you go up. His body's pretty thin. Okay. Now we're going to be erasing a lot of this part for whenever his eyes come into play, but that's all right for now to just leave it where it's at. All right. Okay, now for that shell. The easiest way I've found to do it is to make the bottom hooks of the shell first and then make that big part on the top. So whenever you see where these three lines hit, 1, 2, 3, at that point's the same point where his shell starts. So you can go ahead and make sort of another loop. The front end where his shell starts is about, I'd say start it about here. Maybe a finger's length over if you're doing a paper the same size as mine. Mine's just printer paper. And you want to make sort of a less bubbly one, more of a thin up and around part of this shell. A little more like that, yeah. And to make the loop on the top, I'm actually going to flip my paper all the way around and make a big letter U that stops and connects there. The top of it almost looks like a pot of gold type of thing. Just since it was St. Patrick's Day the other day. Now on this side, it doesn't connect like a point like this one does. It connects more of a rounded area over here. When you flip it over, oh, perfect, looks great. All right, now for the eyes. The eyes can be tricky, but I've found an easy way to do it is start by how high you want the eyeballs to actually go. Now, he almost has two eyeballs that are kind of suspended in the air. If you have a circle, the right shape, they're the right size that you want to trace, that's a good tool to use. But I would go for this one. Now, usually his eyes overlap his body just a little bit from the angle that we're working from. So make two good sized circles. What I usually do if my circle's not perfect, where I just see that I don't like it, I just add some more and then erase at the end. Good. You can erase that inside line too, since we don't need him anymore. Not too bad. Now don't make the whole eye all at once. Wait till your other one's on there, just in case you want to make a little bit better of a sort of a mirrored image there, maybe the same thing. I know all the time. I said this in my last video too. I always make one eye, then I'll make the other one, and they both look great, but they do not look like they match, usually with size or shapes or anything like that. Okay, that's about right. Notice this guy needs a little bit more on one side. See, already making a match. All right, next thing to do is make them connected to the body, because if it looks weird when it's connected to the body, you're gonna have to redraw the whole top. So to do so, I'm just gonna make a letter V connecting to both of them, but his eyes are actually not perfectly straight lines. So if you wanna make it just a little bit of a curve to each of the sides of the V, I think that'll be pretty perfect. So go towards the middle. I made a little mark just so I know where to start. And I want them to meet about here. I think that would work. And maybe a little over, yeah. Make sort of a wave. Sort of a wave. There we go. All right. Now that I got one in, I'm gonna do the outside line. So I'm gonna go over a little bit and do the same thing all the way down. This one you want them to more bend outwards than inwards. So I'm going to actually use my hand the opposite direction. See how it gets bigger at the outsides and smaller in the middle? It works nice. I'll do the same to this guy. He got a little too big and a little too small in the middle, so I'm gonna fix that right now. This eye is gonna be the one that's sort of back and behind. This eye is gonna be the one that's up. So when I look at where my lines are, this one you want it to end on this side of Gary. This one you want it to be on that other side of that hump. So we're gonna keep this line all the way until here where they meet, and then we can erase the part that shows in front of this eye. I can pull this down a little bit more. There we go. Now it looks like we have one eye towards one side, one eye on the other. Now you can come back to do those inside part of the eyes. I'm gonna make him look more that way. So that means my eyes are going to be more on this side. For your circles, I would always start it on the same place you did this circle. His eyes are more oval, almost not really perfect circles. They don't even make it halfway across his eye. Like I said, more ovals. Do one and then the other just in case you gotta fix it. Make sure those ovals attach to the outside. I'm looking at the two of them. He looks a little bit skinnier than the other one I made. So maybe I'll pull some in on this side. That looks better. All right. Now I'll take that little pupil on the inside and make him. Now I'm planning on coloring mine in later, so it's not too good of an idea to color the pupils in until you know what media you're doing it. If you're just doing a pencil drawing, then coloring in is just fine. But if you're planning on doing colored pencils, then it looks like you made his eye gray instead of black. And if you do a marker drawing, sometimes marker doesn't work very well on top of colored in pencil. It works great on top of smaller lines, but sometimes not the best there. This guy's definitely bigger. So let's make him a little bit bigger. That looks pretty good, not too bad. Now for the shell. Now what I'm planning on doing for my drawing is I'm gonna show you how to do the shell exactly like Gary looks, but if you wanna make your own design, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do for my coloring example. So to make his shell, what he has is just a swirl in the middle and then 5 dots around the outside. So it's almost like the number 9 in a swirl. So I'm actually gonna make a point in the middle so I know where to go to, and I'm gonna turn him upside down. And this way I'll make him almost like a number 6. Let's see. Looks pretty good. I'm going to do the inside one. So I just swirled it around. I'm going to do the same for that inside one. His base part right here is pretty straight, not too curvy. Then it gets curvy up here at the top. There we go. All right, looks good. Now for his 5 dots. The one on the top is actually quite bigger than the rest of them. It's sort of a wavy oval. Then the ones on the side go all the way out till here and here. And then there's two in the middle. Don't worry about getting these perfect because the ones that are actually on Gary are kind of lumpy looking, and it changes per episode, kind of different things. All right, looking good. If you want to add different details, feel free. I think I'll add some fun designs on the inside. I'd love to see what you're making, so feel free to send them to me at my email, ghoelscher@highlandscusd5.org. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help, and email me any extra designs that you want me to show you how to make on other videos. Thanks guys, have a great day.